you sing?
Noise. Okay,
that's enough.
Well,
welcome.
Finally get a cigarette.
To the second podcast of the Geeky Gamers channel. Oh, we have decided this particular podcast here is going to be about role-playing. We're all avid role-players, and we want to tell some of our best and worst, mostly worst, stories. Hi, this is Pimp Daddy Willie T, and I'm here with...
Colton.
Senya Knight.
Sam, the man with no name.
And Tyrexy.
And now I have nothing left to say.
That's okay.
We are off to an amazing start.
I don't think we've ever managed to do one of these so far without fucking something up.
Well, you know.
Well, there you go, William. You filled that void for us.
The entire reason I wanted to do this is because all of us just talking together is the most hilarious shit I have ever heard in my life.
Yeah, but there's a very good chance that one guy listening to this is like, these guys are losers.
Yeah, but if he's listening to our podcast,
Who's the
that
real
kind of
loser?
automatically makes him a loser.
All right.
That is our audience.
And our one remaining listener. God.
Hello, Steve. Thank you for staying with us for
One
an
episode?
hour and a half.
Okay, we've been going for 2 minutes, so let's.
Oh, I thought you were about to fart. Why you push back like that? I don't know if you...
Yes.
2 minutes!
Let's get this started. We're setting up traditions already. The 2-minute mark, he farts into the microphone, and then we just go from there.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
I gotta be careful with
Oh,
the
God,
shit.
what are we going to do at 5?
So you gotta be careful not to shit.
Wait, go again.
Fart in the microphone!
There was one night.
To be fair, there have been times when I've had to be careful not to shit.
There was one night where I'm laying in bed, you know, and like I finally get into that comfy position, and like I'm like, oh God, I have to fart, and I'm just like, this is a gamble. This is a gamble fart, and I'm just like, be careful, Bradley. Do not let the shit come out. You can wait till morning, and like it kind of like this little. And then I just shit my pants.
See,
And I was like, fuck! Because that type of... I'm always wearing this one particular pair of briefs every time that happens.
I think you're shitting
It's always the same pair of briefs. Every time I shart, it's always the same pair of underwear. And
Stop wearing those!
well, see, that's the thing. I keep wearing them because I don't want to put the costume on a different pair of underwear.
They're considered the underwear.
When you pick them up, look at them and go, I shit my pants. No.
You know what you should
Then
do?
fold them up and put them away.
No, I've got the perfect solution. Put them on your head and then take a dump.
How is that any kind
I
of
don't mean right there. I mean, you go into the bathroom first. But see, this is... He could do it. He could do it in my bathroom and look at himself wearing the underwear. Well, until the lights go out.
Why is it that everything returns to rape?
Wait, what?
Why do you have a rape toilet? You do. You go in there, you get comfortable, you're feeling nice and fine, and then the lights go out.
Oh, God.
So I've got a
And
finicky.
as they come back on, there's a strange naked man staring at you from the other side of the room.
All right, so I set up my bathroom. Okay, so I have a big, like 4 foot by 4 foot mirror directly across from the toilet. And don't think that's weird because it's about the size of my bathroom.
That's weird.
But see, here's the thing. I also have a finicky light switch. So sometimes it'll just go off.
No,
It always goes off
go
while
off.
I'm pooping. So I've gotten used to just pooping in the dark.
See, I smoke, so I always have a lighter. Every time I go in there, I feel like I'm at a fucking Grateful Dead concert. I have to light it to make sure I don't hit the seat when I
Okay,
go.
you're talking about making things rapey.
You
now you
do
got a
wave it
dungeon
back
with
and
a
forth
light,
just when
like
you're getting
a
bored.
candlelight. That's
That
the
is terrible.
rapiest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't have a basement. Because
Everyone is glad William doesn't have a basement.
Oh God!
Especially me.
See, here's the
The
thing.
one time William had a basement, I had to help clean it out. Fuck that shit.
Wait, was that when the sewer backed up?
Yes.
Ah,
Literally, fuck that
Oh my
shit.
yeah.
So much
Oh,
shit.
man.
Why would you want to?
There was a time where the sewer backed up in Nick's basement, and we were standing at the because like his basement's like the ceiling's like what 7 feet tall, and it was like half full of sewer water,
Oh!
and
Oh!
yeah.
God, did it get into his clothes and his
Oh my god,
couch?
it ruined everything in the basement. So, but we're
God.
we're just like we just have to wait for it to go down. So we're just like, what can we do to amuse ourselves while this basement is filled with shit water?
Oh, you didn't swim in it.
No.
Oh, my heart skipped a beat. I was gonna have to just like scoot to another couch.
No, it's much better than that. They
So
sit on
we
a raft
took,
and
we
float
took
around
his sister's like extra super absorbent like tampons, and we're just like opening them and tossing them in just to see exactly how absorbent they were. And let me tell you, that blue fluid does not do it justice.
You gotta get the brown fluid to make sure
Okay,
it's
see,
right.
that was rapey. Okay, now it's been like what? It's been like 7 minutes now. We haven't told one role-playing story.
I
We've
know.
just talked about
Start.
pooping and rape.
You have your hand raised for 5 minutes. Go.
No, I've got one. We were playing a game at one point. Nathan was running the game, and whenever we ended up in another dimension,
Well, wait, what game?
it was D&D.
Uh,
I know. It was like a one shot. We ended up in another dimension, and Ricky was playing I want to say he was playing a barbarian, and he fell in like a lake, but it was tainted.
just
So
a,
we-
Do you have any more
like
words
a
about-
taint?
Well, a tainted lake.
Oh, okay.
This lake is made of pussy
When
juice.
he came out of the lake,
There were 2 legs on the other side?
Well, he had 4 arms.
I'm gonna be grabbing.
Okay.
When he came out of the lake, he had 4 arms along with his regular 2 legs. And
Wait, were they like prehensile little T-Rex arms?
no, they were like Shiva. Like
That doesn't sound so bad.
No, it wasn't.
I'll
But
be good with that.
immediately after that, we
I
got
can
in
start
combat
making
with
D-Days.
something like a
I'm
creature.
just gonna drink Kahlua and
Guys.
Irish cream.
Huh?
Immediately after that, we got in combat with like a harpy or something, and it ripped one of his arms off. We
Oh no! No! I'm gonna go take a swim!
So we finally get back to our regular dimension, and there's like an army waiting for us. And he's just like, you know what? No, I'm done with this shit. He walks up to the front, rips off his 3rd arm, and just says, "Are you really gonna fuck with me?"
Oh God, William!
Actually, that reminds me of a time I did roughly the same thing.
Oh God, you are telling the story that I
Yes.
wanted you to tell.
Yes, and I was a halfling in Travis's D&D
You
game.
need to mention both of them.
I ran a D&D game.
Once,
Yeah.
remember?
Oh, wait, no, I
the
didn't.
one I abjectly ruined every chance I got?
Oh, you mean you and every character you've ever made, ever.
Any game.
You can't handle it. Why do you keep inviting me to your games?
I only know so many people.
Anyway, so I'm this halfling warlord, and we're supposed to be, I guess, finding my
You
mentor.
weren't a halfling. No, you were a kobold.
No, he was a
No,
halfling
you're-
who disguised himself as a
Oh, I
kobold.
just
Yes, you're mixing
Get it right, you
states
dumb
here.
bitch.
Right.
I was a kobold in that one D&D game in California.
Incorrect,
But no,
bitch.
I like playing short people. They're right at crotch level, right where my teeth are.
You should
Okay.
be born as me. Seriously.
Anyway, so we're trying to rescue my master, and for whatever reason, we have to go to a goblin cave to do it. I think the goblin guy who was in the cave had...
That had nothing to do with your master in any way.
Oh, it didn't? Well,
No,
why were we doing it?
because that's where the fucking story started out.
Oh,
It was one of those fucking pre-made things that I ran. It was my first D&D game.
You know what? I did it to you. Why don't you tell the story?
Okay, so they go through the kobold cave, and they kill all the minions, and they get the fucking goblin chieftain.
Now, you gotta remember that I disguised myself as a kobold warlock.
Oh, no,
this whole time.
I'm sorry. That's how it started out, was fucking William getting rid of all the kobold minions by disguising himself with the butchered parts of the one kobold they killed first, and tying a tail onto his ass and fake jaws onto his face.
I had excellent charisma and disguise, so I managed to
And
pull it
then
off.
running out into the middle of the canyon with his body parts that are taped on falling off, going, Orcus has cursed us with disease!
And ripped off the tail.
And then rolled a natural 20.
I win.
And so they all scamper off. And they find the chieftain in the cave.
Yeah, what was supposed to be an epic fight took me 5 minutes, and most of it was screaming.
Most of anything we do involves screaming.
That's
a little rapey.
Just
a little, yeah. As a matter of fact, right afterwards, weren't my buddies in the cave? It's all of the goblins except for the chieftain had left, and I ran out there to deal with them and left everyone else in the group to beat him up.
No, you were like, we gotta get information out of this.
No, not me, them.
Okay,
I was being smart.
I'll leave you out of this. The group is like, oh, we have the kobold chieftain. We should, tie him up and get information out of him by any means possible. So they tie him up, and they're like, tell us what we want to know! Beat! And just for 10 minutes, the same thing. Start talking! Beat! And eventually I'm like, you know what? You haven't fucking asked me anything!
I was gonna say,
I'll tell you whatever you want! Please tell me what you
intimidation.
want! No!
They rolled intimidation, and it scared him from the first turn. But they spent 20 turns beating him without realizing that they had. He was just sitting there pooping his pants and taking a beating. And they were just like, tell us everything!
You haven't asked me anything yet!
Okay, this is exactly like my character in Phil's Delta Green game. Okay? My character is a character that from a game, a pizza boy from a game that we had previously played of Delta Green. What happened to my character in the previous game was they captured me, tied me to a chair, gave me multiple lacerations, and then whiskeyed me.
And electrocuted you.
Yeah,
at the end of the plug-in for a lamp.
Yeah.
Yes, I was there.
So they electrocuted me over and over, and while I have multiple lacerations all over my body, horribly disfiguring me, they're pouring buckets of whiskey on my open wounds. And it just goes on. It goes on forever. They're just like, tell us. And I try to tell them something, so what do? What do? They pour another bucket of fucking whiskey on me. I'm trying to give them the information they want, but they just simply will not give it to me.
Now, you have to give them some credit. They were crazy.
No.
Well, Briggs was crazy.
Briggs had nothing to do with
Nick
either.
was just a
He said
jerk.
we should question him, and Nick went insane.
So my character in the game that we played after this was just horribly traumatized and just hated everything about Delta Green because they did nothing but treat him like shit for no clear reason whatsoever. They never told me what they wanted to know.
Actually,
they just bludgeoned me with whiskey.
Everyone in Phil's game hated Delta Green because of the way Phil started the game.
Except for me.
Yeah, but nobody cared about you.
Yeah, I know. Because I was keeping the group together, bitch.
You know what? I actually liked that game. The game was terrible.
Even when I tried to get you killed to test the limits of our abilities?
The game was great, except for the fact that it was a terribly broken game.
Okay, another Delta Green story. William was running a game where we had gone through the Dreamlands.
This one?
Professor Little Oldman?
No, that actually was the story I was telling.
He was the star of that game.
We had survived so long in this stupid game. Finally, we got to the end. And we were talking with, who was the ancient one in that one?
Nyarlathotep.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, is this the Nicole story?
We weren't going to use the name of my ex-wife, but thank you.
Excuse me. Is this the she-bitch story?
I was going to refer to her as Nipple, but alright.
That That's giving her too much credit for having those.
Anyway.
To be fair, it was one of the only good things about it.
we finally got to the end. We finally were surviving, and Nyarlathotep decided, you know what? I'll let you go. So
just give me the stone, and I'll just torture you later.
So we were all starting to leave, and then she says, I turn and shoot him.
Her.
Collectively, everybody's face in the entire room turned to her with the biggest derp look you can imagine. And we said, you do what? I shoot him with my gun.
The great old one.
Yeah, to which I said, okay, give me your character sheet so we can tell you how dead you
didn't
are.
we light it on fire at that point?
No.
Yes.
We tore it up, then we put it in an ashtray, then lit it on fire, and we said, okay, now somebody needs to piss on it, and that's how dead you are.
To be fair, though, that was like her third character for the game. We stopped making characters for her. We just opened the book and went, here's a random pre-made character.
We did that
Do
the
that.
one time she played Warhammer with us, too.
Yeah.
Good God.
She insisted on being included in the game, so we did what we could.
What?
Got another story for us? Said you had lots.
I do, but I have to think of them. I lost the one I was... That arm story wasn't even the one I was thinking of. I was thinking of another one, and I lost track of what it was.
Arms growing. God, it's terrible. We've had so many completely retarded games. And you see, that's it. We have a problem. That's like Nick's Gamma World game. I can't not break games. I can't do it.
In fairness, that system was broken.
Yeah.
Well, a little bit, but Nick should have been able to compensate.
Gamma World
Okay?
one.
That's the mark of a good
there for
GM, is to compensate for your blissfully retarded,
it was
overpowered
his first
character.
game.
Yeah, I don't know that he's ever run a game before that either.
Yeah.
He hadn't even participated in that many games.
All right. Maybe he shouldn't have run his first game with me.
Yes.
Yeah,
That is
that's a mistake.
We'll see.
I did that. That's a mistake. The first game I ever ran was a Throne War, for those of you who don't know. Amber, wonderful book series by Roger Selazny.
Phil and I won in half an hour?
Yeah, that was the first game I ever ran.
It was supposed to take 2 days. Phil and I killed everyone and took over in, I think 3 hours.
Do you know why? It's because that was the first game I ever ran. So I was playing it, and then all of you fucking power gamers are like, I do this, I do this, I do this, I do this. And 3 hours in, I was just, I'm so done with this now. You guys win!
Well, nobody could stop us. Nobody could stop us.
That's because the GM gave up.
They wouldn't have been able to stop us even if you had just sat
That
there
was the first game I ever
catatomically.
did, and it was the worst game I ever ran.
It is important to know.
You guys just destroyed
Phil
me.
and I, when we team up, are unstoppable
Same
in a
for you and
role-playing
me.
game. I don't know.
Throne Wars, we teamed up every time. We were the only ones to never once stab each other in the back.
It's true.
Alright, so, like they're saying, never let Pimp Daddy Willie T be a person playing the first game that you've ever
Just don't.
It's almost not worth it having me play at all, but I run most of my games, so I get so desperate. I want to break something.
So
your psyche's just what it ends up being.
You're talking over him.
Pimp Daddy, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm being a jerk, aren't I?
Pimp Daddy, I am sorry if this hurts your feelings, but every character you've ever played in every game that I've ever run has been Chaz.
Well, no.
They've all been the same character.
That's not fair.
Because it's
I
you.
grew as a gamer.
No, it's you. It's you. What happens is you get frustrated and then you go, fuck it, I'm just gonna break everything.
My Eclipse character was not like that. My Eclipse cast...
He got raped over and over.
No, a little bit.
Okay.
That was my Mance game. That was the best game I ever did.
No.
I Tyrexy Chaos am preparing a Doctor Who themed game.
What now?
Are you
Doctor
preparing
Who?
it?
Yeah, I've been working on it for a few weeks now, and I'm preparing a Doctor Who themed game. It will be the first game that I've ever run myself. I don't know the first thing about running a game, but I've been trying to research it a little bit. And unfortunately, because I don't know many people, Pimp Daddy's going to have to be one of the people that plays this game.
I'm going to try not to ruin it.
And it's one of those things where it's like, should I even try? Because Because you don't understand. When he plays a game, because he runs games so often and he gets his games so broken so frequently, he just has this certain spite about him.
I'm good at compensating for you assholes.
William, stop excusing yourself. He's talking.
Where all he ever does is when he does get to actually play a game is break it, because all of his games get broken in one way or another, so he's just spiteful.
That is true. That's entirely true. There was one game in particular, your Call of Cthulhu on the cruise ship game. Where you told us specifically afterwards, you're like, I really didn't design a scenario in which you guys survived that game at all.
But that wasn't out of spite! I swear!
But no, we're playing the game! And William has all these maps that he downloaded from online and apparently didn't pay enough attention to them.
It's true.
Because we're going through the game and eventually I'm like, wait a minute, this is a cruise ship? We're just going to go down to where they have the jet skis docked and drive away. Oh, there aren't jet skis! There's no way! And I'm like, okay, map, right there. Oh! There are jet skis. Okay.
That happened.
Well, damn.
Your jet skis.
The monsters attack.
The only Call of Cthulhu game I have survived.
Other than Little Oldman.
Oh, Little Oldman was just a badass, though. He wasn't supposed to be, but everyone else sucked so much, he just became
like soup ass over there.
More than I'm more scared of anything about my Doctor Who game. I'm not scared of Pimp Daddy fucking it up as much as I'm scared of fucking Sam the Man with No Name is fucking it up with his Briggs-like characters that are just so perfectly genius and so perfectly played out that there's just, you can't, like, if he breaks the game, you can't even deny it.
I'm gonna wound him.
I will give
Exactly.
Sam credit. Sam is Briggs in real life.
I'm gonna wound him. Rolls a 1.
No.
Blows his face completely off.
I can crit those rolls.
Every single time. He kills them.
You can't just wound a person.
Yeah, and
He's gonna kill me in the
he
first
can't.
fight.
Yeah, you know what I don't kill people? When I'm trying.
From now on, try to kill them and then
No, I have to try to wound everyone, or they don't get killed.
Do you remember? Never mind.
That's one of the reasons.
Then you'll wound them.
We're talking about accidentally killing people. Do you remember that time Phil had a 50% chance of blowing up Brad? There are 2 Hummers at the gate, and I gotta blow one up to get past. 50 or over, you kill Brad. Boop. What is it? A 51? Oh, wow!
And from that moment on, I've never trusted Phil in a single...
It wasn't even his fault!
Anyone's fault, it was his.
Me. I could have just made it not happen.
That's why I want to run a Doctor Who game, because the point of a Doctor Who game isn't just to kill everybody. You're not supposed to kill people.
Thank you.
In
Most
Doctor
of
Who.
my Cthulhu games weren't about killing anybody. That particular storyline had a purpose, thank you. A very specific
Although
purpose.
it was all about killing people.
Well, once fucking Phil got in on it, yeah!
Well,
But,
no,
like,
any game any of us are involved in automatically becomes about killing
Thank you,
people.
but you weren't there for Rogue Trader. Okay?
No.
It was not about killing people.
I was married at that time.
Because if I'm gonna run a Doctor Who game and one of you decides to go all fucking madman
Now look.
without a box and try to start fucking killing people, you're gonna fucking die. Like, I'm going to make it inevitable. Your character's going to die, and guess what? You don't get a new one. Because...
Oh, you say that! You've never killed one of Phil's characters.
No,
When you kill one of Phil's characters, Phil has been there, in your face, for the next 4 hours, until you bring him back to life.
I can't
days.
It is almost impossible to kill one of his characters when you want to anyway. I mean, it really is.
He
Within
does.
the confines of the game, unless you finally lose your temper and go, you get struck by a meteor! It is just impossible!
I swear to God, this guy's
This Rogue Trader character.
We will in just a minute. Jesse's got her hand raised.
Go.
Okay, in the same game where William had the stroke of genius to clear out the entire army of kobolds we were supposed to be fighting, Travis rigged up a thing where there were to trap/alarms.
Oh, right, the alarms. I thought they made skeletons. Leave me alone.
It's my story, you quiet. And so there were there was one pad on each side of this hallway. And every time you stepped on one of them, it made this sound.
I would hate to do that.
To which our cat came to a 5-foot hover. And because Travis was trying to stay in character, every time William stepped on the pad and summoned more skeletons, he was killing Travis with the sound. And he actually came up with a scenario where he said, okay, you go to the other side of the hall, and I'll stay at this side of the hall, and then we'll step on it at the same time.
Okay. I thought they did something. Other than that!
No!
I was testing them. I didn't know what they were. I had no arcana. Okay? They were symbols on the floor that when I stepped on it, skeletons came out.
I tried to tell you, and you didn't
The
believe
first
me.
time it was an alarm. The 7th and 8th time it was just annoying.
The warlock down at the bottom of the fucking dungeon's just like, really? Are they still on that alarm pad?
I'm pretty sure that's why we lose neighbors that live over there.
Oh, man.
We have not had the same neighbor for more than a year.
All right,
Between me and Phil, it gets loud.
Mr. Man with no name.
No, he's
We were
Sam
playing in a
with no name.
Star Wars campaign.
Oh, those always go bad.
Every time.
In this particular case, it
Because
was
they're always run by Phil.
no. This was a completely different group of people.
Yeah.
Oh.
This was not with you guys at all.
Unique.
Yeah.
It's nice to know it goes bad everywhere.
Yeah, it's not just here. Part of the problem was we didn't like the guy.
You mean the guy running it?
No, the guy who this happened to.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
So, we're trying to get off a planet, and the, I don't know, police, I guess, stormtroopers, whoever we were, running from, they wanted him.
Just him?
So we decided to disguise him. He was a Nautilin, one of the green tentacle-haired guys.
Right.
Not a
You
Twilight.
can't really disguise one of those too well.
No.
No. But he didn't want to be disguised.
Oh.
So we knocked him out and had Nathan sit on him while we sewed Wookiee fur to him.
On him?
Yeah,
Not on his clothes, but on his skin?
yeah.
Oh!
And then we
That's
sold him
horrific.
as a slave that was half Nautilin, half Wookiee. And he was raped to death by a Gamorrean, which is one of the big fat pig guards at Jabba's palace over the course of a few months.
Oh, nice.
Okay. Though, in fairness, we really didn't like that guy.
All right,
That excuses.
all right. Before you go, that is strikingly similar to what happened to Phil in our Rogue Trader game with
Which one?
Lady Obelia.
Oh,
No,
God.
that wasn't Phil. That
Yeah,
was
no.
Nick.
No,
And
No.
not to
The
death.
second
In the
It
last,
was both.
No, the second time...
Nick was worse. He had to participate.
Yeah,
Phil
no,
just
Phil got
had
out of
to
it, remember?
watch.
Oh! He was in the kid. We'll talk about that story later.
I really
No.
think you should do the laugh just now, though.
Anyway,
Watch one of the games if you actually look on the playlist on our channel, by the way.
Wait, did we have the rape game on?
Yes!
Not the
This-
one with
we have the
Nick,
second
but
one.
the second one with
Yeah.
Phil.
Oh, we did. You should watch that.
It's Lady Obelia!
okay. Same game that the jet ski loophole happened in.
Wait, there was another funny thing in that game?
Yes, there was. It happened completely by accident. At some point, Senya Knight's character
Oh,
got
God.
taken over by demons, and so she's going insane.
No,
So
I think she
No,
just
no, no.
I think she just lost sanity and went crazy. a little
Yeah.
okay,
I
that
did
might have
agree.
been it. But anyway, she was acting completely insane.
bit.
So we tied her up,
Oh, God!
and we
yes.
waited so she couldn't move or destroy anything. And we're like, okay, that's
And you
good. And they're like,
stuck an apple
all
in my
right, no,
mouth.
stop,
Hang on.
stop, wait. So we're like, we got her tied up. Okay, now we need to move her, because we still have to go around and do shit. Well,
Like
we're in the
escape the
kitchen.
monsters.
We're in the kitchen anyway. Hey, here's one of those little fucking delivery carts.
Rolly cart.
We'll
Yeah.
throw her right on top of there, and then we'll just drag her around with us. So she's trussed up on the cart, and And we take her, and then she's still babbling this insane shit, and I'm like, oh god, she won't stop talking. Here, I'll just shove this in her mouth. And I grab an apple and I shove it in her mouth, not even thinking about it. And then we go into the control tower for the ship, which requires you to go up an elevator. So we roll her into the elevator and we go up, but we don't want the elevator to go back down and let shit come up. So we're like, we're going to take her on this platter and set her right here.
So the doors won't close.
The doors so they won't close. But the doors closing eventually knocked her back into the elevator.
I made her roll her luck and fail.
And then the elevator goes down and we hear the doors close and there's things at the bottom of the shaft slavering at the fucking thing.
No, it was a shotgun.
The door.
We heard knocking at the door at the bottom, and we hear the elevator going down, and then I just start laughing uncontrollably. And everyone looks at me like, what the fuck is wrong with you? And I'm like, well, okay, you have to see this from my point of view. What we have done is we've tied Cindy Knight up in ropes, shoved an apple into her mouth, and then sent her down the elevator
Like a goddamn
on a service plate, served up like a chicken dinner to whatever fucking opens up that door.
I can't even imagine the look on her face if there had been a tentacle door.
You hear a ding and the door's open and there's a nice human fucking dressed up and tied up with an apple in their mouth, ready to go.
You know what?
It's my lucky day.
I can't tell you what my face looked like, but I can tell you this is the sound I made.
It's exactly like Cabin in the Woods. That is what I just pictured in my head is the movie Cabin in the Woods. When all the guards rush out into the area.
That looks awful.
Oh
my!
It's
It's
one of the
it's
best
so
movies.
good.
It's made by Joss Whedon.
It's one of the
Joss Whedon does everything good.
That
Joss
automatically
Whedon
does
is
make it
nerd
awesome.
It
god.
is one of the best horror movies
really is.
ever
It's
made
so good.
ever.
You have made a mistake, my friend.
I've made William watch it before. If you've never seen it, if you there listening have never seen it, rent the Cube movies.
Oh my god, yes.
Just the first one. The rest of them ignore entirely.
No,
The
they're
first
okay.
Cube movie is amazingly
You
good.
also have to watch
Have you seen
Firefly
it,
and
Pip Daddy?
Serenity.
Have
Well,
you seen Cube?
everyone has seen those.
I've never seen
No!
Holy
no.
shit,
So many
it is
people
so
haven't seen
fucking good.
I
Firefly.
guarantee you, everyone who is listening to us has seen Firefly and Serenity.
Well, if
Probably,
they haven't,
yes.
educate yourself.
No,
Educate yourselves.
Cube is a genius premise.
Cube is
but
fantastically
Cube
good.
was-
you know what pissed me off about Cube though? The ending. I don't want
The
to.
first Cube movie I was okay with.
This isn't the movie podcast. If
But-
it were, I would be screaming about Elysium.
Alright, role playing. We'll do movies next time.
Exactly.
Okay, I got one right now. Now we're playing a Delta Green game, and it's the only Delta Green game that I've actually survived. And
You survived one?
I survived.
Not by my good graces?
I survived it by complete chance and coincidence because I'm the only person that has climb, right? And we're trying to get on top of this building to get information so we can break in through the roof.
Yo, you didn't survive that one.
No, nobody did.
And
No one.
You
And what
survived the
happened?
first part, but got killed later.
Wrong,
And,
right.
like I was like the last. Okay,
Thought.
I pretty much survived
Then
the
keep
game.
it.
I got killed after
Yeah.
the game. So
You survived the game, but not the whole chronicle.
yeah. What happens is I'm the only person that has the climb skill, and we're like,
We should preface this by
I
telling
have-
you climb is very important.
Climb-
Always take it.
If,
Will save your life.
if somehow you ever play in any game that Pimp Daddy Willie T has ever run,
Get time.
take Climb.
And run.
It is the party killer.
Now what happens is I'm the only person with climb.
Okay.
I have a ridiculous amount of climb. Okay, there's no way I could possibly mess this up. I go to jump and climb up onto the roof, which is maybe, 10 feet tall? And I go to climb up the roof, and what happens is I magically, miraculously, because he is running the game, fail this roll, and fall
Oh, that's not nice.
a mere 7 feet and break my shoulder. And because of this, the rest of them continue the game while my character is pent up in a hospital.
That's right.
And
You're the only one who got to see Laser Jesus.
And I'm the only person that survived the game. Once the game is over, he's describing what happens to the city when a magical floating...
I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Laser Jesus.
A magical floating laser Jesus goes to the city of St. Louis, just blowing shit up with his Cyclops eyes, and I get out of my hospital bed and walk...
Cyclops eyes!
No, Cyclops the mutant.
That sounds like an oxymoron.
No. Cyclops the X-Men.
They don't have to be his eyes.
Now, I'm the only person still alive at this point because Super Jesus has killed fucking everybody.
Of
Okay,
sheer dumb luck.
and you know the scene in The Day After Tomorrow where the tornado rips part of the building apart and the janitor opens up the door and finds nothing but a sheer drop off in front of him after he opens the door.
Yes.
This is what happens to my character whose arm is in a sling because I miraculously failed this climb roll that I could not possibly fail.
There
And
wasn't a ladder. You had to roll climb and botch.
So I open the door, and all I see is this guy dressed up as Jesus floating through the streets of St. Louis, blowing shit up with his eyes, and then out of fucking nowhere, the dude fucking vaporizes me with his Cyclops eyes, and I'm the only person to survive this entire thing. We're not even playing at this point. This is after everybody else has died. I'm incapacitated, so I'm in the hospital, and he's describing what happened after we all died, and that's when I die.
Just don't describe what happened in the hospital, because for some reason in Pip Daddy Will You T's games, all hospitals are fucking staffed by fucking horrible rapists.
Yes.
I know all of them.
Wait, what?
With a predilection for soup.
No, that wasn't a hospital.
No, that was
it was a homeless shelter.
Yes.
It doesn't matter. I went into a hospital and somehow came out with googly eyes instead of regular eyes.
But that was Warhammer. Those aren't hospitals.
Makes sense.
They're freaking barber shops.
I think Briggs burned down or blew up 2 separate hospitals.
Yeah, after going crazy in both of them.
To be fair, any building anywhere near us when we try and fly a ship just gets...
Okay, and
Because the first thing that happens, let's take off. Roll. Boss.
All right, hang on. Let's let Brad finish the story.
In that same game, like when they finally get into the building that I miraculously broke my shoulder from trying to climb on top of, when they finally decide, fuck it, let's just break through the front fucking window.
Oh god, the tape!
They watch
One is circulated through 3 of your groups!
Oh my
Briggs saw
god.
it twice.
They find this videotape. They find this like 4-hour porn of this
Laser Jesus and a shapeshifter. And he's having her transform into all different kinds of shapes and sizes. And he's fucking her like as a sheep, and he's punching the back of the head going, "Ball for me, baby! Ball! Ball! Oh, that's it, Daddy likes!" Oh,
and this is exactly what I would expect to find in a folder on your computer.
and the only thing that saved me from going completely insane from watching this horror is the fact that I managed to miraculously botch a climb roll. So I don't know whether or not to be happy that I did such an incredible failure, or...
Look, at least you got to glimpse the real Laser Jesus.
William,
that is true.
The next game of yours I play in, I'm making a character who is based around nothing but climb.
Alright, Jesse, what's going on?
We play this one particular game called Cannibal Pygmies and the Jungle of Doom. It's not necessarily a role-playing game, but it kind of is. It's a game that we play, but it's a card game.
It's a card game about making B movies.
Yes.
It's terrible.
Well, I was going to get to that,
And
but yes.
wonderful.
Yes.
I had this one particular game that... Now, there's all types of characters. And they have all sorts of traits, like... There's, a big barbarian, and he's big, dumb, and strong. Just like that. There's
I know
female
this story.
sacrifices that all they are is female and virgins, stuff like that. There's also vehicles. One of the particular vehicles is a camel.
I didn't realize this at the time.
In my B movie, I had nothing but scenery because every character I brought out before they could even hit the screen, William killed them. And so I got angry. And there are cards that you can play on other people's movies. I got out of gas. And it works on any vehicle. The camel is a vehicle. So
This woman runs my camel out of gas. And it made me so sad because he was my favorite character. She deflated his hull. My camel just went... Then it fell over in the desert.
Let me just say,
Put.
when you're playing any type of game with Pimp Daddy Willie T, it is important to remember that he is both the worst winner and the worst loser that you will ever play with.
Alright, give me some
If
credit.
he wins, it's, oh, you guys suck, you're all terrible.
No,
you
what
should
is-
be better at this game. If he loses, it's, oh, you guys suck, you're all terrible. Why are you all ganging up on me?
What this reminds
Every game!
What Jesse's story reminds me of is if you've ever seen, thank you so much, Travis, for turning me on to this show, but if you've ever seen An Idiot Abroad, whenever Carl is riding the camel and they're in the middle of a fucking desert,
I'm not riding a camel anymore.
and the camel
You're not
just...
making me get back on the camel.
The camel...
No,
the
no.
camel
Hang on.
Come on, we gotta get back on the camel. No, I'm not riding the camel
the
anymore.
only person in the show that's more miserable at this point in time is, other than Carl, is the camel. And it just sits down in the middle of the fucking desert and just says, no, I'm not getting back up. I'm not walking with this jackass on my back anymore.
Call a truck to come and pick the camel up.
It wouldn't move! It wouldn't move!
That is exactly what I said. I said, oh my god, they ran it out of gas!
Highly recommended An Idiot Abroad. It is the greatest travel show you will ever watch.
We have got to stop talking about TV shows and movies on the role-playing cast.
Yeah, Tyrus.
What?
Yeah, I said, yeah, Tyrus.
Seriously.
Okay.
Let's see who's talking about card games. Alright. Everyone but me is to blame. There. Let's go on. So I wanted
You're
to
the
talk...
only person to blame for everything.
Okay,
Look,
you
just
want
because
to
I'm a
talk-
fat sociopath doesn't mean everything's my fault.
The only thing you can't blame on you is someone spilling a drink, which is designated for Phil.
Yeah,
So
that's always
his
Phil.
character.
Anyone out there, anytime anybody spills a drink, blame it on Phil.
Yes.
It is his fault. His spirit came into your home and wafted
His
it over.
nickname is actually Spilly, and he is contagious.
He
Now-
is the avatar of spillage.
Now, I wanted to talk about Final Fantasy and how awesome I am at making games for Final
Oh,
Fantasy.
God.
I want all of you guys to tell me how awesome I am because of Final Fantasy.
you suck.
Oh.
Okay, you know what? I have to give him credit. His Final Fantasy games have been fantastic. One of my favorite characters that I ever played was in his Final Fantasy.
To be fair, none of them would have been nearly as good if you guys didn't have some interesting characters.
You co-opted one of my characters. One of my favorite characters ever was the fucking horrible Steve Irwin ripoff I did for your FF game.
Yeah, but you stopped playing. What was I supposed to do with a perfect character like that?
No, I was married to a horrible cunt wife who wouldn't let me go out or do anything without 12 hours of argument.
Wait, I thought she was a she-bitch.
We're talking about you, Nicole.
Either way, I'll just say specifically cunt because that word got me punched in the face.
Oh, okay.
Luckily, she's a tiny little person with no strength, so it didn't
If
hurt.
it makes you feel any better, it
but
got me
punched in
prosecuted.
the face.
Let's tag her name in this video so she makes sure to hear that.
Anyway,
You know what? That sounds like a good way to get me sued,
Yeah.
so we're not going to do that.
anyway.
Freedom of speech,
I
motherfucker!
said earlier, no real names when it's horrible shit.
He did it! He said it first!
No last names. No last
I
names.
can't keep it straight. I'm sorry.
We'll just call her cunt face from now on.
All right. Now,
I
anyway.
wouldn't give that
Or
When we got divorced, that's what I changed all my passwords to. Was cuntface12.
That she couldn't break into your stuff?
Well, she didn't know that I was putting cuntface12 for all my passwords. But if she had, actually, no, I did tell her. We got back together for like 2 days after.
You did not.
After we first broke up, before the official breakup,
okay.
we got together for like 2 days, and she went to pay one of our bills, and she's like, "What's the password for this?" And I just started laughing. She's like, "What? What?" I'm like, "You're gonna be mad." She's like, "What is it?" I'm like, "It's cuntface12," and she just gave me this death look.
Yeah, but that was her ordinary look.
She had resting bitch face.
If you haven't changed them yet, you might want to change those passwords now that you've just told
Oh, they've all been changed.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to say, now the internet can get into your bank account.
No, that's different.
Well, wait, no, I'm sorry. It's just the one dude listening to the podcast, isn't it? And he probably likes us enough, he won't steal all your money. Just enough to get food and keep listening.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, he'll leave you.
Thank you, Steve. You are a wonderful, respectable human being.
Well,
and I
wait.
appreciate
Wait,
it.
is our one listener Steve Smith?
Yes.
Oh, God.
And you would, by doing that, you'd obviously leave more money in his bank account than his ex-wife did.
Oh, man.
Oh, it amazes me just how much money I have now. I used to never do anything because I'd come home after work and, oh my God, I'm broke. Now I'm divorced and it's, wow, suddenly, somehow, I have money to do everything
You know,
every week.
I would suggest the show Louie, but that probably hits too
No,
close to home.
I've tried to watch Louie. It is painful.
Okay. We're still
Again,
talking about divorces
Stop bringing up
and
TV
television.
Remind me about Louie the next podcast.
Yeah, the internet. Remind him about Louie next podcast.
Which will probably start in about 20 minutes.
Now, anyway. Back to me being awesome, right? How much did you guys love my interesting and unique Final Fantasy
The one
monster?
thing about all of his Final Fantasy
The
stuff.
Deerapus?
The Deerapus is the best thing ever.
It's almost total
It
white.
combines the most perfect aspects of both a deer and an opus.
In Rogue, he actually transferred it over to Rogue Trader just so he could have.
Actually, there's been a Deerapus in every game I've run since then.
Yeah.
Just because I can't get rid of the Deerapus.
I know that.
But I
We're
mean-
down
I
to
don't
the
even
cold.
know. I think it was
We're talking
Gamma
over each
World.
other.
Yeah.
I think it was
I think we
Gamma
finished
World
that off
where he
last time.
created the turtle.
The turtle?
The turtle.
Oh God! The Gill Turtle.
Final Fantasy. What are you talking about?
Yeah, the Gill Turtle was from Final Fantasy.
Was that from Final
The
Fantasy?
Gamma World was nixed.
Oh, I didn't create the Gill
Gill
Turtle.
Turtle. Oh
I
my
got the
God.
Gill Turtle from online.
Stop.
It's an original Final Fantasy monster.
No one's talking. You're good.
Okay. No, Giant Monster Rampage. That was just such a great little shitty role-playing game where you make your giant monsters that destroy cities.
It's up there. I still have it.
No. The characters that we made. I made
Turtleocalypse.
Turtleocalypse was awesome. He was just a giant turtle with rockets and fucking laser cannons.
Yeah, but the thing
So
about
essentially
Turtleocalypse was that he didn't
Blastoise.
give a shit. He wasn't trying to destroy anything. He was just going to go that way, firing his rockets and
He's not
lasers.
good as a
Fuck whatever's in the way.
I broke that system. I just went, okay, what can I do? What kind of character could I make that I could just increase his toughness incredibly? Let's see. A turtle with a robot. That would have high toughness.
What was awesome was
So
that
I
you
just
could...
made a character that could never be hurt, moved 3 inches in a turn, and then fired rockets at everything.
What's as good as Apocalypse Cow and her Udders of Doom? I'm sorry.
What was
but no.
really great about Apocalypse...
Yeah, but we
pardon me,
didn't make Apocalypse Cow.
No, I did.
What was really great about
Apocalypse Cow was
Turtleocalypse...
the tick.
No.
Yes, it was. Tick did it
Pip
first.
Daddy, you go.
The point... The
Oh.
thing. I don't remember what I was saying.
Dark.
Never mind.
Yeah. So someone else talk now.
I'm sorry, what?
I don't remember what I was saying.
I don't even remember the premise of how it happened. I think we were getting attacked by multiple Delta Green agents, and
Is this when you got your head shot off?
No, this is the entire. Give the truth.
That was when Nick attacked you.
No,
That was when Nick's team attacked us, and Bill killed all of them but Nick with one bullet.
Yes, yeah. Well, there were only 3 of them. So you say all of them, but 1. That's 2. All but 1 sounds impressive till you realize it's only 2.
I thought there were 4.
You know what? Still killing 2 people with 1 bullet? Impressive.
Well, it's just he did it leisurely. Percy Worthington III was such a son of a bitch.
Oh my
He just
God.
leisurely walks out of the car rental place and he's like, oh, a firefight. Boom!
He's a fucking cocky asshole, but he could back it up.
It's true.
Meanwhile, my character Moog is sitting there freaking out because we're having bullets fired at
Sorry.
us.
Moog?
Agent Moog.
Agent.
It was his covert name. He was Agent Tyrod.
Is that anything like a mook?
No, that's too
and
Japanese.
we're sitting there, and they're all like they're all like, oh, it's only 3 guys, it's only 3 guys. Meanwhile, my character, who's never been in a situation like this before, is like, get in the truck!
You tried to pull Sam into the truck and botched the strength throw. So you're just sitting there leaning halfway out of the truck, just flailing your little girl hands at it going, get in the truck! Get away from me, I'm gonna kill you! Get in the truck! It was terrible.
Okay.
In any
Dawson,
event, though.
I already
I will
lost it. If
forever
you got
be
one
remembered.
more.
Yeah, I got one.
I'm after you.
Back to the very first Warhammer game I ever played. It wasn't Road Trader. It was the first game I played. You were in it with the net gun.
Oh, the net gun was the most useful thing
Like
ever.
the one we never got to finish, I was so disappointed about that.
Yeah, I know, but we
didn't finish it?
The
We
Harlock
finished it.
campaign.
We were down in the sewer.
No, the first one with the net gun was the one where we destroyed the galaxy on accident because we were being good Imperials.
No, that was 2 games before that.
Yeah, I wasn't in that.
That
You're
was the
mixing
one I had
games.
the net gun.
You
No,
haven't-
the
you
one
haven't
in the
again.
net gun. No, that was when you were the commissar.
No,
The one in the
no,
net
you're
gun
right. That was the
the
one where I
Harlock
let...
campaign.
You're talking about the game...
Pine.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the
I'm talking
refreshment
about-
scent of pine, nothing else.
I'm talking about the one where we were in the
I
reclamation
had to
center,
melt a
Oh
gun.
God.
and you all fell off the ladder, and I jumped in to save you, and I landed on the Diraposa's head and cracked its skull.
Well, that's right. You guys were walking through the reclamation center underground in the. Yeah,
With
that's
the
right.
fans blowing across the
What's
walkway.
the climb roll?
Yeah, that's why I brought
You and climb! Every time you run, you're like, you know what? I'm gonna make them try and climb something.
Okay, you
And
wouldn't
then we all die!
And
You interrupted me! Yo,
you
stop!
would not have had to make the climb roll if you hadn't slipped in the first place.
No. Well, that's true. But it's even worse than that. Because we had to swim first.
Yeah! That's a skill everyone takes!
It was a ladder! And it was
And you
so
didn't give us the
impossible.
bonus for the ladder either.
And none of you specialized in swimming in urine either. So of course you're gonna get a negative. And while you're being attacked by Dirapus in the butt in a lake of urine, okay, on a rusty, slippery, poo-coated ladder, you're not gonna get any bonuses to climb. This is why you should buy Climb.
Well,
I was gonna say something, but then I realized-
your games.
I was gonna
You climbed into the lake of piss with the Rapapus.
Into it.
Rapapus.
You have no right to talk about rape in a William game.
I
Because
just...
you don't fucking know!
Well then,
Me and Bill are the only people who understand the level of rapiness that William will put into a game.
don't
All
let
right.
him get
To
bored.
be fair, it was 3 in the morning.
Did you rape each other?
No, it was me and Phil. It was
I
just,
did.
You
the
raped each
three of
other?
us were just, this was
I
years
raped
ago.
each other.
This was years ago, and I invited the 2 of them to stay over at my house, and we were just spending the night together, and then he's like, okay, let's do a role-playing game. So we make characters really quick, and then we go through it, and it is the most rapey, awful thing ever. No matter what we do, no matter where we go, something rapes us in the ass. Not figuratively, literally. We are raped in the ass.
So in fact, the very first thing that happened was they wandered into town, got clubbed in the back of the head and raped. And somebody took all their clothes.
And then we go, okay, you know what? Fuck this shit. We're just we're gonna go to the middle of nowhere. Okay, you go to the middle of nowhere. There's a fucking tumbleweed. It rolls by and rapes you. What? Why? And eventually, after like 2 hours of being raped by everyone and everything, we're like, okay, I'm just gonna kill myself. I bite the arsenic's fucking tooth in my mouth and I just die. It's a placebo. What? No, I'm not done raping you yet. This is the things that I remember. There's a point at which you honestly said the words. Space coalesces and it anally rapes you. Why?
I haven't broken you yet.
I have to add, this is the same game with the cum-covered leprechauns.
Oh yes, the cum-covered leprechauns.
All I have to say,
And the
Swedish underwear modelers.
all I have to say is, all I have to say is, it would probably be more comfortable to be anally raped by the universe than urethroly sound.
I don't think that's a comfortable way to be anally raped.
At least not by all space and time.
By anything.
Hey,
There's not a
soundings can be
comfortable way to be
comfortable.
anally
Now,
raped.
if the alternative is forced reverse urination,
Okay. No, wait.
Pause.
I'm sorry.
Pause.
No.
name.
I have this on my computer. Okay?
What do you not have? That is a much shorter list.
But here's the thing, okay? Here's the thing. It is
have
a
really
very
good
short
dildo
clip of a
hands.
man sounding himself. And it opens up with a man with his dick in his hand. And he's got a handle in his other hand. And he starts to wiggle it around, and then he pulls it out. And it goes like 12 inches, and then he turns it 90 degrees and pulls out another 4 inches. And it is bent 90 degrees at the end. He put that in his penis. And it's only 4 inches of the 90-degree bend, and he's got an 8-inch dick. He had a 90-degree 4-inch bend halfway in his dick, and he pushed it in. Oh my god!
Okay.
No. This is the point at which it's my turn to point
Okay,
out.
we need to stop shouting.
This is the point at which it's my turn to point out. That has nothing to do with role playing. That was just you working some shit out.
You mentioned sounding.
Okay.
Yeah, that makes it okay.
So to end
Steve's just furiously masturbating.
Thank you,
until
Steve.
that happens.
Okay.
We can't make it happen.
So, if you're listening, you should know that out of the 5 of us, I am by far the kinkiest motherfucker in this room.
Also not
Really? 90-degree bend dick, and you're the kinkiest one in the room?
Want to bet?
I have tried sounding before. I have tried this before, and my advice to you, Steve, is don't try this. because although you see it on a video on motherless.com and it seems interesting, it is not as interesting when it's happening to you as it looked on the video.
Side note, okay, there's a website called heavyr.com.
Been there, done that.
Never visit that site.
It's by far not the worst.
Yeah,
no.
really? Are you sure?
I'm
Have
positive.
you seen the scat play videos? Oh god, they're
Are you
all...
I'm
kidding
sorry.
me? Are you kidding me?
Hang on.
Scat play was 6 months ago, brother.
Hang on.
Oh, it's
I
awful.
won't collect scat. That should say something about how awful it is. Okay, now, well, unless it's a German shitting table.
What?
Here's my...
Because it's German, it's okay?
I'm German, so yes.
My opinion on scat porn. My opinion on scat porn is if it's diarrhea, then it's disgusting. But I mean, I gotta say, there's
So ladies and gentlemen,
there's something about the
We got
tattoo.
totally off the subject of role playing here.
this is why you should be listening to this podcast. What other podcast talks about scat porn?
Okay,
As well as Final Fantasy.
That would be the Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy 11. The scat porn file.
That's very much the Final Fantasy. That is the point at which every character goes, no.
No.
Here's the thing with
I'm sorry.
No.
This
We're
is
done.
degrading.
No.
That's it. End.
We still have 2 minutes.
There does not need to be anything else about scat porn.
Here's the
sorry.
thing. Here's the thing
No.
with scat porn.
No.
Whenever if it's nice, big shit, there's something about the taboo.
There is
that is
nothing
extremely attractive.
redeeming.
No, it's not.
There's nothing.
To me it is. Because what is
You're wrong.
What is it that you learn when you're in grade school? Is girls don't poop. So when you ever see a girl poop, it's like, holy shit, this happens!
I never at any point was told girls don't poop.
That's your opinion. And
That's your opinion.
Okay, guys. Okay, it's
have-
been about an hour. I think we're gonna call this one to a close.
Scat porn. We're scraping the bottom of the barrel. We're done for this one.
I should just go ahead and just tell you we're sorry for the last 10 minutes. At least I am. Okay? I don't know about the rest of you fucks.
Hey,
I'm never sorry.
I'm drinking. I'll film guilt later.
I'm never sorry for anything, so...
You guys have been wonderful.
Okay, yeah, we can,
Thank you
we can
for
end it.
listening.
It's been an hour.
Oh, I need to think of a new
Tyrexy Chaos!
Pimp Daddy Willie T.
Colton 83.
Sandy Night.
Sam, the man with no name.
We're signing out. Thank you for listening.
What the... Why is it not...
So the last few seconds is